Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Sajid Premadasa, participated in a public meeting in the Cologne area yesterday.
The public meeting was held under the auspices of Sajid Premadasa to garner support for UNP candidates contesting the Sabaragamu Provincial Council election. Sajid Premadasa was extended a warm welcome upon arrival. Addressing the rally, Premadasa said that although Rana Singha Premadasa implemented programs to relieve the people's burden, these programs have collapsed today.
A media briefing was held in Colombo last evening to create awareness about the 20th annual NCE Export Award ceremony. The award ceremony will be held on the 21st of September, and MTV MBC are the electronic media sponsors of the event.
The media briefing was organized by the National Chamber of Exporters of Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka, as we know, are always struggling with the foreign currencies. We have been having an era where the rupee was strong and exporters were badly affected. But during the past 1 year, that situation changed, and now we have a more realistic exchange. People feel that if the market forces start to determine what the exchange rate is going to be, there will be chaotic situation. But we as exporters, we have the responsibility to stabilize the rupee.
Colombo Music Festival 2012 will get underway tomorrow. A media briefing was held in this regard today.
Colombo Music Festival 2012, which features over 100 artists and around 50,000 participants, will commence tomorrow. The festival will present local artists with a global platform to display their talents and ambitions uninhibited by financial constraints.
I think we've got the attention, and more than anything else, the festival has been recognized. I think that's the biggest tribute. It's not the money, it's not whatever we are trying to fight and get through with, but I think it's just to be recognized, which is the most rewarding thing. The participation of all these, the younger generation, is very, very inspiring, because it's like they've cottoned on to this and said, just let's go forward with this. And I think that is a majority. That is a majority that we need, and which is really interesting.
A vocal group known as Exchange from the United States performed at the media briefing. MTV and NBC are the electronic media sponsors of the event.
Make us feel proud, singing forever, singing forever. Let's rejoice in the beautiful
Well, there's just a week more for the 2012 Paralympic Games to begin in London, and Gamini Dissanayake, who will be representing Sri Lanka in wheelchair tennis at the Paralympics, is full of hope to make his motherland proud.
No matter who I face at the Games, my aim is to bring a medal to Sri Lanka. Gamini Dissanayake, who was born in the Mangalore area in Ampara, which felt the brunt of the war on several occasions, joined the Sri Lanka Army in 1996. 4 years later, Dissanayake was wounded in the battlefront in Muhammale and lost his left foot. Undeterred by his disability, Gamini took up wheelchair tennis and went on to enjoy numerous victories. Gamini, who was the runner-up of the last 3 national tennis championships in the wheelchair tennis category, was also a member of the Sri Lanka wheelchair team that won 3rd place in the World Team Championship this year. We are amongst the top 64 teams in the world. We have a huge challenge ahead.
On to some cricket news now. The Sri Lanka Under-19 cricket team won the Play Championship first semi-final of the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup after defeating Ireland today.
Winning the toss and opting to bat first, the young Lankans made 258 runs, with Sandun Virakode scoring an unbeaten 112 of 121 balls. Angelo Jayasinghe scored an equally quick-paced 55. Having to chase 259 runs for victory, Ireland were bowled out for 149 in the 37th over. Lahiru Madushanka terrorized the Irish batsmen, ending with figures of 6 for 24, handing the Lions a comfortable 109-run victory. Sri Lanka will now take on Afghanistan in the Plate Championship final of the World Cup on Friday. Meanwhile, in the 5th place playoff semi-final match, which was also played today, West Indies bettered a resilient Pakistani outfit as they claimed a narrow 16-run victory.
Dinesh Thangaraja and Pakistani tennis player Tati Rashik qualified for the finals of the Men's Open event at the 97th National Tennis Championships. The tournament is being held at the Sri Lanka Tennis Association court.
Dinesh Thangaraja defeated Shamal Disanayaka 3-1 in the first semi-finals of the Men's Open. Later on, Pakistani player Tanti Rashik beat Nishangan Nadaraja 3-1 in the second semi-finals of the Men's Open. Meanwhile, Netmi Waduge defeated Shankari Nayakar 2-love in the first semi-finals of the Women's Open. Also, Amrita Muttaya beat Roshenka Fernando 2-love in the second semi-final of the Women's Open.
Moving back to some cricket news now, the Indian cricket team practiced in the southern city of Hyderabad ahead of the team's first test match against New Zealand, which starts tomorrow.
The Indians have lost 8 consecutive away tests in England and Australia last year to relinquish the world #1 status and will be without 2 batting stalwarts in Hyderabad on the opening day of the test. The 4-0 drubbing they received in both series prompted the experienced Rahul Dravid and VVS Laxman to hang up their boots and pave the way for the next generation. Sachin Tendulkar, aged 39, is the only surviving member of the famed batting trio, and it will now be up to the young players to make an impression. Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane are the most likely candidates to fill the void, although Subramanian Badrinath is waiting in the wings as well. India, ranked 5th in the world, also need to find 2 dependable slip fielders in the absence of Dravid and Laxman. 8th ranked New Zealand are still smarting from a 2-0 test defeat in the West Indies.
The 5th edition of the reality TV show that revolutionized the genre in Sri Lanka, Sirsa Superstar, was launched today with the prize money on offer to the winners standing at a whopping 10 million rupees, the highest ever offered by a reality show. The launch took place at the Stein Studios in Ratmalana.
Sirsa Superstar Generation 5, The Next Voice. This is the latest revelation in the series of reality TV programs on Sirsa TV. Sirsa Superstar Generation 5 promises to revolutionize the viewing experience with an all-new setup. It is also noteworthy that a previous winner of the show will be sitting at the judges' table this time around.
We have some of the most creative people working on the show, and no doubt this will be another big winner for Sri Lankan television audiences. Being the leaders in the industry, we are very aware that we need to stay ahead of the curve. This season, therefore, is another exciting and innovative show that will guarantee fresh content to captivate television audiences around Sri Lanka.
මෙවර සිරස සුපර්ස්ටාර් වැඩසටහන ආරම්භ වන්නේ.
This year's Superstar competition will commence with music rounds. This time, Sirsa Superstar Season 5, The Next Voice, will commence with the participation of the 100 finalists. Although we speak of these concepts today, when considering the volume of applications received, we cannot even hold this show next week. This requires planning and preparation on a massive scale. That is why we will be bringing the show to our audiences from the second week of November.
නොවැම්බර් මාසේ දෙවන සතියන්තයේ සිට අපේ ප්‍රේක්ෂකයන්ට ගෙනෙන්න අපි සූදානම් කරලා තියෙනවා.
NASA's Mars rover Curiosity, dispatched to study if the red planet could have hosted life, is to take its first test drive.
However, NASA has reported a setback.
A sensor on the rover's weather station has sustained damage, probably during landing, but NASA scientists claim it will not pose any problems.
That's right, Curiosity will take its first steps around Gale Crates in what would be a 30-minute test drive.
With that, we wrap up tonight's news. I'm Shen Silva.
And I'm Mahina Bongso. We leave you with footage beamed back from Mars just prior to the test drive. Good night.